It seems that despite the fact that the base roster is now complete, speculation season for Smash Ultimate isn't quite over yet. Sakurai let us know in the direct that we are going to be getting at least 5 DLC characters, not including Piranha Plant, which will be coming in special DLC packs alongside a stage and multiple music tracks as well. What this exactly means is that the end of the road is not Incineroar and Piranha Plant, but rather that we still have 5 more characters yet to come, and already there is massive speculation. There have been people saying, oh well, there's leaks about it already. But perhaps the biggest bit of telling information that may help us direct towards who exactly may be getting in comes from the fact that Sakurai himself tweeted out yesterday that Nintendo has picked the DLC characters, not himself. Now, from the way he said it, it made it sound as if they gave him a bunch of characters, like a list, and then he had to pick 5 of them from the list that they'd made for him to turn into Smash fighters, which honestly is still incorporating his choice a bit, but it also makes Nintendo very important and instrumental in this decision-making choice. In this video, at the end of it, I probably will give my predictions to who I think will be making it in, but I am just going to be discussing here quite a few of the popular picks for DLC in order to sort of, outline who you guys could be seeing potentially as DLC, starting with our first representative. So, the idea that Nintendo is choosing sort of opens it up to the fact that they maybe would be wanting to use it for various different purposes, one of which could be building relations with other companies, and one that they haven't built very many relations with, aside from a rebuilt relationship by the time Smash 4 rolled around, is Square Enix, and everyone and their mother seems to be thinking that Square will be getting another rep. Now, apparently Square have been very, very protective of who exactly has made it into Smash, so they've been throwing out 5 or 6 or 7 different names for characters who could potentially make it into Smash as their DLC representative. From some of the names that have been heard floating about the internet, we have Geno, Sora, Slime, Erdrick, Lara Croft, and Sephiroth. So we've got a good mix of Kingdom Hearts, Mario RPG, Dragon Quest, Tomb Raider, and Final Fantasy there. Now, none of these guys are 100% sort of set in stone. They're all just things that Square could potentially have thrown out to confuse people in order to get one of those characters in. Up until my friend Lam mentioned it yesterday, I wasn't even considering Lara Croft, until I realised that, oh yeah, Square sort of own Tomb Raider now, and the fact that that's the case could mean that one of PlayStation's other icons from the early days, alongside Cloud, could be making their way into Smash as a DLC fighter. Personally, I don't know if she's going to be the most likely character. I'm going to give my thoughts on that right at the end of this video, but generally it is a pretty, it's a pretty out there guess, but not something that is unlikely. So yeah, our first potential character could be from Square Enix. Following along the same sort of lines for building relations between companies, we know that Nintendo's been building relations with these guys over stuff like Minecraft Netplay. We have Microsoft getting a rep. Now, there are 2 sort of big characters that come from Microsoft that people seem to be very heavily invested in. One of which, the leaker Vergaben, the dude who's been 100% right in his predictions and leaks for everything Smash Ultimate, says that Minecraft content is in the game some way, which could potentially mean that Minecraft Steve or a Creeper have made it into Smash Brothers. Now, I don't know how I'd feel about this. If this happens and something else I'm about to mention in a minute doesn't happen, I will be absolutely livid. But I feel like if Minecraft's getting content, it could be a character, but I'm more drawn towards sort of something else, potentially like an assist trophy or a stage, or a Mii Fighter costume, potentially, for Mii Sword Fighter, just because of the fact of, okay, I get the character we'd get, I'd get the stage we'd get, but in terms of music, I know Minecraft's not in, the biggest sort of, it doesn't have very many, in-depth songs and whatnot. They're all sort of like 1 minute-ish tracks, and I don't know how you can make a full remix out of that for the purpose of Smash Brothers. Maybe Sakurai and the team could manage it, but I don't know. I see Minecraft content being more as a sort of way to get Banjo and Kazooie, which again, you guys know I'll be riding that train until the day the DLC's done, getting into Smash. Now, I think Banjo has a very likely choice now. The fact that Nintendo's choosing it makes it a big thing. The fact that we have sort of information potentially about an N64 Classic or an N64 channel, it would make all the sense in the world for the Banjo games to be on there. The Banjo games are now listed as being Nintendo games on the Nintendo website, which went up a week or so before the Direct, which is very, very interesting. The fact that that's now happened, it's Kazooie, Tooie, and Grunty's Revenge, are now all classified on the Nintendo website as Nintendo games, so that's fairly interesting. And I just think that if you're going to get a pick from Microsoft, I think Banjo and Kazooie are the most logical choice. They have that Nintendo history, they are popular in ballots and whatnot, and I just think that all the evidence now is pointing towards Banjo and Kazooie being a DLC pick. Whether they're the first ones to be announced, I don't know. I don't particularly think so, but I would not be surprised if those guys were to make it in. My next thing is sort of like, I don't know, because we already seen this character confirmed as a spirit, but of course we now know that spirits do not fully deconfirm characters, and these next few characters are sort of linked to the idea of spirits not deconfirming and whatnot, or perhaps a lack of spirits altogether. We have Shantae from the Shantae series, WayFord's little baby brainchild. WayFord's been pushing super hard to get Shantae into Smash, and we have her as a spirit, but we now know spirits don't deconfirm people from being DLC, as we've now seen that Daisy and K. Rool both have spirits knocking about in the game itself, so it seems as if, spirits don't mean a character's not getting in, and the fact that they sort of link to trophies in a way, like they're the new form of trophies, sort of links back to the fact that in Smash 4, Mewtwo and Lucas had trophies, but then they later became DLC fights, so trophies don't deconfirm. I don't think spirits do either. So the fact that Shantae's a spirit does not write her off. The fact that WayFord's been pushing does maybe increase her chances, but it's all down to whether Nintendo themselves would see her as a big enough opportunity, again, to potentially pull in buyers or, interest fans further and whatnot. I think Shantae may have one of the weaker chances on this list, but I'm not going to count her out altogether just because of the fact that, she's had massive support from WayFord and people at her outcry, and, technically in terms of spirits, she's already in the game. So, speaking of spirits, and sort of linking back to the company linking thing, we know Nintendo are now very, very buddy-buddy with Ubisoft, and one of the spirits in the game right now is Rabid Peach. Now, I think, personally, this character I'm about to mention sort of was very low tier in terms of what I think was going to get in, but now that Nintendo are picking, I think his chances have, just shot up in terms of how likely he is now. After the amazing leak we had for Smash 4, Rayman could potentially be entering Smash Ultimate as DLC, which I think would make sense. Is sort of like a big buddy-buddy thing between Nintendo and Ubisoft going on right now with, the Rabbids Kingdom battle with Starlink, that sort of thing. I think that's absolutely huge. Legends for a time, Rayman Legends was a Wii U exclusive game, and I think that Rayman, if Nintendo's choosing, genuinely does have a bigger chance than he would if Sakurai was choosing. Sakurai seems to be going for a lot of fan favorites and out of left field picks. I think Rayman would be a perfect addition if Nintendo was choosing, because it's just a big tell of that Nintendo and Ubisoft relationship. Moving on from Rayman and the talk of spirits, we have the single character who wasn't fully deconfirmed by a spirit or has inclusion as an assist trophy or anything. We have Bandana Waddle Dee. Now, I'm not too terribly sure why people want this dude. Probably because he's a spear user, and spear is a different weapon to what we've had in the past, because, we have enough swords with Fire Emblem and whatnot. But yeah, and there's some evidence pointing towards this little dude being in as well. There's no spirit, there's no mention of him in any trailer, no assist trophy, no anything. And the biggest interesting thing about this, Bandana Waddle Dee and the Waddle Dees generally have now left DDD's victory pose. So yeah, they're not there anymore, which is very, very suspicious. It sort of is a bit of a tell for me that maybe they are planning to do something wider with Waddle Dee himself, just because of the fact that they now don't have him present anywhere else. Then again, that's not stopped them with Chrom for being in Robin's victory thing as well. So yeah, that's sort of a bit but I don't know, maybe Waddle Dee could have a bit more. I'm not too sure about this character, I don't really know too much about him, but at the same time, that'd be pretty neat, that'd be pretty cool, I guess, for the people who want him. So yeah, Bandana Waddle Dee could be joining us as well. We're going to move on from talk of spirits here to talk of cross-promotion. Cross-promotion was one of the big reasons, apparently, why Corrin made it into Smash 4, to cross-promote with the Fire Emblem game that was out at the time, and apparently Corrin was a very Nintendo pick as well, which makes me think that Nintendo wouldn't shy away from doing a similar thing again. Our first idea for cross-promotion, and I just shake my head when I read this out and I thought of this, but I genuinely think this could be a case. Next year we have Generation 8 of Pokemon coming out, and Sakurai has decided on Pokemon based on concept art before, like Incineroar, like Greninja and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the final DLC character, or for one of them, we got a Gen 8 Pokemon. I don't want it to happen, and I don't think it'll happen, because we've already got a new Pokemon for this game. But at the same time, I'm like, I would not put it past Nintendo to use cross-promotion in that way, to sort of promote the Gen 8 of Pokemon by having one of the starters as a new fighter, which again would be sort of disheartening, putting Pokemon at 11 reps, where again, like, stuff like F-Zero and Sonic have 1. But at the same time, I'm just sort of like, they would probably do that, probably. Speaking of franchises that have a lot of characters, I also think that in terms of cross-promotion, since we have Fire Emblem 3 Houses coming out next year, I think Nintendo will definitely be putting a character from that into the game as DLC again, just to cross-promote with Fire Emblem on the Switch. And we don't need another Fire Emblem character, we don't need another Pokemon character, and after Piranha Plant, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I want another Mario character unless it's Geno. But yeah, I really don't want another Fire Emblem character, but I have a sinking feeling that it's gonna be the case, just for that sweet cross promotion to raise sales for that game. So yeah, I'm predicting that we're gonna get another Fire Emblem character in the form of a 3 Houses representative. These final 4 ideas I've got here are linked to Mii costumes as well. Now, in terms of Mii costumes, we've learned very recently that they don't deconfirm characters based on the fact that Chrom's Mii costume is still in the game and you can still buy it using your gold from various modes and whatnot. So the fact that that's still in the game makes me think that Mii costumes don't outright deconfirm characters. So that means, say, if Geno's Mii costume is still there, he is not deconfirmed. You know, Ray Mark III, he is not deconfirmed from being future DLC and whatnot. But I think these guys who were already Mii costumes in Smash 4 have a chance of getting in just based on the fact that Mii costumes don't deconfirm. We have Tails, again a long shot, but Shadow's deconfirmed, Knuckles is an assist trophy, deconfirming him as well, and Tails had a Mii costume, so I wouldn't be surprised if they made him into a second Sonic rep. I doubt they will. I think we're sticking with Sonic, and that's it. No new stage, very little new music, no remixes and whatnot, but hey ho, it would be cool to have Tails, just because, you know, he's already in there as a Mii costume. We have Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia as well, sort of as a Bandai rep, just so again we can say, here's another company with more characters coming in, again, like Pac-Man, and then Lloyd from Bandai. As well, we also have Heihachi. From the big boy from Tekken. He's a Mii costume in Smash 4, and again, to get that next bit of representation, to be like, yeah, here's another franchise we have in Smash Brothers. How big is this thing getting? I think Heihachi could potentially make his way in as DLC. We're now moving on to like the last 2 picks. Both of which again are linked to Mii costumes, but both of which I feel are a lot more likely than the other ones. First off, we have Rex and Pyra. Rex and Pyra are from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Sakurai said as much in the direct that he wanted to make them a character, but because of time constraints and because of the release windows of Xenoblade and Smash not lining up correctly, that he physically had no time to actually incorporate them into the game. Because of the fact that Mii costumes don't deconfirm people, though, these guys have gone from being I don't know who they are to one of my picks where I'm like, I think they are one of the strongest contenders right now. The fact that Sakurai outright said he wanted to put them in, but could only get them as Mii fighters, I wouldn't be surprised if he's working on them in the background as DLC to make sure that they could actually get in, because that's what he really wanted. Lastly, we come to Monster Hunter. Not again, a Mii costume for this dude is already in the game, and as well, there's a little bit more evidence for this dude. Much like Rex and Pyra, Monster Hunter has other evidence, meaning that we already have Monster Hunter representation in the game. We already have a Monster Hunter boss in the form of Rathalos, and we already have that stage that we fight Rathalos on now. Obviously that's not a full stage, I can see them sort of working on an extra stage for the Monster Hunter to come with, but at the same time I think that Monster Hunter, again next to Rex and Pyra in terms of the Mii costume reps, actually stands the strongest chance in terms of actually getting into the game from just being a Mii fighter. We're now going to look at which 5, if we only get those 5 DLC characters, there is no wave 2 in like a year and a half's time or what have you. These are my 5 choices in terms of who I think, and more so probably who I want for a few of them to get into Smash as DLC reps. The first one is the Square rep. I think this is very, very likely. I think Square's definitely going to get another rep, again with Vergaven talking about it and whatnot. In terms of who I would like it to be, my top pick, despite the fact that I'd be really happy for Geno people, people who really, really want him to get in, I would be most excited, and I want Sora the most. Sora with like a Traverse Town stage or a Destiny Island stage or something like that. Again, check out my Sora video for full details on how I think he'd play and whatnot. I would be absolutely ecstatic for that. Again, give me that simple and clean Ray of Hope mix. Give me Wave of Darkness. Give me Give me Vector to the Heavens, not Dirge of the 14th. That's it. That's a remix version of it. Just give me all them lovely Kingdom Hearts tracks. Give me all them lovely Kingdom Hearts tracks with a lovely, lovely stage and an amazing DLC rep to go along with it. I would be absolutely over the moon. Of course, there is also the choice of Slime from Dragon Quest. I feel like we might be getting a Dragon Quest character, whether it's Erdrick from the first 3 games or Slime. I think we could get a Dragon Quest rep in this. And I think that those 3 and 4 are sort of the most likely. Again, people have been talking about Sephiroth as an Echo fighter for Cloud, and I'm just like, no. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Besides, we also have, no more room for Echoes, so he'd have to be a completely unique character, and I don't think we'd be getting another Final Fantasy VII rep within the game. My second choice is probably the most obvious one, given my previous content and whatnot. I think that Banjo will be getting in still, and I think he is just going to be a DLC character. I was thinking about this last night as I was going to bed, and this definitely makes the most sense, especially with this extra little bit here. I think Banjo will be announced as a DLC pack. It will be him and Kazooie. He will get a Spiral Mountain or Gruntilda's Lair stage, and he will be given a bunch of lovely remixes again, like Click Clock Wood, like the main thing, like Battle with Gruntilda, all that good stuff. But I think Sakurai will have to have had a caveat with this in order to get the rights to Banjo and whatnot, and I think that Banjo will be the first DLC fighter to come with, quote, special bonuses and raise the price a little bit, just so Microsoft can get some of that sweet, sweet dollar for themselves. I think that Banjo, I think Banjo will have with him, as a Mii fighter, Steve from Minecraft, and potentially come with an extra stage as well. Maybe Minecraft comes in as just a stage as well. I would not be surprised with that, especially since Minecraft content is very heavily rumoured right now. I would not be surprised at all if Banjo gets in, with a caveat of having some Minecraft content bundled in with him, which I think they would probably try and raise the price of his DLC pack, maybe from $5.99 to like £8 or something like that, just like to justify having the extra Mii costume and the extra stage coming with them. But I think Banjo is still getting in, and I think Banjo is definitely going to probably come at this point with Minecraft content, just to make sure that he gets in, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't see Microsoft getting 2 reps. I don't see them getting Steve as a full character and Banjo as a full character, and apparently a couple of leakers now are backing down on the idea that Steve is playable, but the fact that there's just Minecraft content in the game. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Banjo is a way to bring that content in with him and his stage as well. My third pick is again something I don't particularly want, but something I think will happen. A Fire Emblem Three Houses rep. It makes too much sense. Again, Corrin was a Nintendo pick for DLC, and that was for cross promotion. I wouldn't be surprised if they give us a rep from Fire Emblem Three Houses and make them cross promotion for that game next year when it comes out. I don't know any of the characters in that game, so I suppose take your pick. Hopefully not a sword wielder. Give me anything except a sword, because I think every Fire Emblem character has a sword now, so just stay away from that, please. Next we have Rex and Pyra, just again based on the fact that Sakurai himself has said he wanted to put them in this game, but then he just didn't. He couldn't with the release windows with whatnot, but I definitely think he would take the opportunity to work on them as a DLC pick to make sure that he can get his little fantasy in and whatnot. And lastly, again, the dude who's absolutely shot up my predictions list now that Nintendo is choosing, I think Rayman is definitely going to be in now. I think just the fact that it's Nintendo's choice, they're so buddy-buddy with Ubisoft right now, and it would just make total sense. Why would you not have Rayman as a DLC pick when you're like best friends with Ubisoft now? It just doesn't compute to not do it. So I think that that's going to be, maybe not the final DLC character reveal. I think that might be saved for potentially Banjo or Rex and Pyra, but I definitely think that at the end of the day, we are going to be getting Rayman finally making his way after getting that brilliant Smashified image into Smash Ultimate. So, just to recap, we have a Square rep, hopefully Sora, maybe Geno, maybe Slime. We have Banjo and Kazooie with a Steve skin and Minecraft level coming with them in addition to, so it'll raise their price a bit. A Fire Emblem Three Houses representative, Rex and Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Rayman. I think this is a pretty sensible list. It doesn't fully go with my heart a lot. Some of this actually goes with sort of me thinking it through logically and whatnot, not just saying, well, it's going to be Banjo and Rayman and Shadow and this and that. You know, those days are gone. We have to treat this stuff a little bit more sensibly, a little bit more tactfully now. So yeah, those are all my predictions and thoughts and whatnot on who we think we'll be getting as DLC. I hope I've given an effective rundown of who we could be getting. But out of this list and out of other predictions, who do you guys think we'll be getting as DLC? Post your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you all for watching. I've been Harpunks, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.